Now I'm going to read Traitors Beware story. Uh, and I would like you to understand um, how we come across and how we perceive something. And this is by no means a criticism to Traitors Beware. This is in support of Traitors Beware. Amazing, amazing person. But I have to tell you my side of viewing her, my perceptions of viewing her, because chances are it's similar with other people. Now, when I've seen some of her videos, she obviously seems really, really angry and not really making too much sense. And throughout all of the time, it's been, what, 6 months that, I don't even know how long it's been since I've been subscribing to her and she's been subscribing to me, and I didn't know her story. I know that there's corruption. I know she's supporting me whenever I say something about corruption, but she's never really said anything about what's been going on with her. It just seems to be a lot of anger talk, which is just confusing because what are you talking about? And for the most part, telling our stories is so friggin' painful. It is the human nature that if you've been under such severe abuse, you can't tell that story. That story is so friggin' painful because when you speak your story, there's going to be criticism. Somebody's going to knock you down again. And that is the worst part, is not being believed. The action, the abusive action, is one thing. But to know that good people support that action is devastating. So it's really, really hard to tell our stories, especially when you've tried telling it and nobody listens. So she's one that is the same. It's extremely, extremely painful for her to tell her story. But I was asking her to tell me her story, trying to tell her, put it on a video again, and I don't know quite well that she has the strength to do that. But she sent me information, and one of them was a big, long story that, just the way my brain operates, I cannot read that information anymore. It's too long. I'm attached to too much of the pain that all of a sudden the words just, I could be looking at words, but they just cannot be received in my brain. So I had to let her know that I can't read it. And so she sent me another email because it's more to the point, and that's what I'm kind of can only read, is something that's specifically to the point. And she's taken the time to write me an email that I'm going to read out because I think it's very, very important. I don't want to just tell my side, my version of what I'm reading. I want to read what she's saying because this is really blow your mind. Canada is guilty as sin. There's a reason why they want Assange killed. I blew the whistle on HSBC Asset Management, a subsidiary of the largest bank in the world. HSBC in 2002, while I worked for HSBC Securities Canada Inc. as a stockbroker, investment advisor, certified financial planner, HSBC Asset Management Canada Limited committed a massive breach of trust against Canadian investors, proven beyond a reasonable doubt during my trial. HSBC stole my last month's pay and $49,039 of my short-term disability. So whatever they were doing, they're trying to take away her way of life, while I was away sick with melanoma and numerous surgeries. HSBC made certain my RRSPs were tied up and that I would not get unemployment insurance. They took the food right out of my little girl's mouth. HSBC Bank of Canada garnished the sale process of my townhouse to ensure I had no money to live on. HSBC Bank Canada foreclosed on my house. These were staff accounts. HSBC lawyers Irene Wynell made certain I would never work again by destroying my 28-year career. My car was broken into and I had no insurance to repair or license. I gave my BMW up for junk. I live in a muddled house. I lived in abject poverty, and it not for food banks, we would not have survived. Which is my problem with food banks, is food banks sustain everything that's wrong. We think that it's a good thing because we survive off them. This is just my 2 cents in that one. But why are people putting so much money into food banks and the time that it goes into food banks when you're not paying attention to why we need food in the first place? Let me see where I broke off. Would not have survived. I defend myself against HSBC in a 19-day trial and numerous hearings while I was seriously ill and did a masterful job. I should have been awarded over $35 million. The judgment ordered lawyer Gordon R. Johnson of Borden Ladner Javis LLP to file my claim, and he disobeyed her order. I attempted to file a petition in the Court of Appeals for an order of mandamus and certiorari. A law office, Gregory Pun, refused to file it. I attempted to get burned CDs of the proceedings, and my request was denied, yet any lawyer could get them. The Attorney General opposed my request for the CDs. I have falsified transcripts of the 19-day trial, which was delivered to my home. I have proof that the audio recordings on the proceedings were tampered with inside the court. I went back to the Supreme Court and asked the judge to hold Gordon R. Johnson in contempt of court and to declare a mistrial, and she would not. Despite the fact that the judge had no jurisdiction, the court ruled for HSBC. Also, the Supreme Court, Appeal Court, Attorney General Office, and lawyers, RCMP, Vancouver Police, British Columbia Securities Commission, the Investment Dealers Association, the BC Law Society, Gordon Layden Jarvis LLP, lawyers Brad Dixon, D. Ross Robert Dawkins, Gordon R. Johnson are involved in a cover-up of these crimes against Canadian investors. This is all about, she brought down evidence about what was going on with Canadian investors, and because she was bringing them down, this is what the government was doing to them. Canadian judges ignore whatever they choose not to hear. Cases are they're stage managed and decided before any evidence even is given. That 100% is something I will testify to what I experienced myself. They only hear what they want to hear. No justice in B courts whatsoever. Canada's constitution has been destroyed by judges. HSBC never had to file a single document or pay a single court fee. Every single finding was in their favor despite the evidence. The BC Court of Appeal judges are also responsible for taking away mine and every other Canadian's constitutional rights. By the way, most of these judges are women. I agree. Most of them are women. Some waterwarcrimes.com websites for evidence of judicial mafia in BC, Canada, and about numerous possible murders of judges. I am not the only case or person. There are numerous examples on the internet. Canadians need to Canadians need to rise up and do something about this, and I do not mean candy coat public hearing. My case has not been appealed because justice needs to be restored first. The Canadian ContentNet.com deaths of a salesman _9 or 6 I'll post that link down there for you. But this is what they do if you do any whistleblowing. This is, you know, the largest bank in the world is manipulating your funds. And there's one employee that was willing to whistleblow, and they made her life a friggin' hell. They've done the same thing to me. They've done everything they possibly can to destroy me, destroy my mind, so that I can't talk, so that I can't express my point of view, so that you can't hear the truth. It takes an awful lot of work to stand up like Traitors Beware, and in one way, shape, or form appear sane is next to impossible when you're dealing with this level of corruption and this level of attacks that are out to get you. I'm surprised she's still alive. But that has been my experience as well. The attacks are outrageous. I'm really questioning, you know, the level of attacks that are coming on my channel now. You know, what is the intention behind these attacks? What information are we trying to suppress? Why is it we don't want to hear the truth? Why is it that as soon as somebody starts speaking the truth, all of a sudden you get this massive attack being done to you? This little Voctor bashing that's going on my channel all had to do with human rights, all had to do with my expression of what's going on with vaccines. Why is it that when you speak the truth, the public comes at you with an attack that's designed to kill you? You know, and it is emotional abuse. A weaker mind wouldn't have been able to take the level of attacks that I'm getting. You know, but good will always prevail. I spent an awful lot of time doing an awful lot of research to keep my mind in check. When somebody calls me crazy, it doesn't affect me anymore, because I know the person calling me crazy is more than likely crazy themselves, and they're viewing from the eyes of something that's crazy. So it's like, if you can't understand this, if this is something that seems crazy to you, check yourself. Maybe you are a bit crazy. You know, if you see insanity in truth, then chances are you're viewing from insane eyes. So it's like, check yourselves out. When you judge another person, you're actually judging yourself. And so it turns back on you. That us, the people that do know the high crimes, us, the people that are trying to protect and warn and let everybody know the truth, don't come at us with these conspiracy theories. They aren't conspiracy theories. They're corruption that is getting away with. Canada is far from innocent in this. There's a reason why our Canadian teachers of political science, which definitely affects our judges, are saying Assange should be assassinated. Canada stands for peace. We are peacekeepers. We are not supposed to be about war. We don't have the death penalty in this country. But isn't it amazing that when Assange, WikiLeaks is starting to reveal some truth, the truth about who's in power is actually coming out. You know, what they really stand for is coming out. And they said, Canada is now saying that the truth, if you speak the truth, you should be killed. And this happens to anybody that's reporting any type of corruption in Canada. Our government is doing everything in their power to kill anybody that speaks up against the government, because that's what our government stands for in Canada. We are not a peaceful country. We are far from doing anything right. Follow the money. Why is Canada doing so good? And why are we owned by the Queen? Something to think about. Time that Queen give up a little bit of her wealth and a little bit of her power, because her power is about to crumble big time. Because the truth will set you free. Peace out.